What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy Matt Turner. Here on this channel, I like to do product reviews, talk about fitness, and document my transition as a black trans man. If any of those things do interest you, I encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you guys can stay up to date on when I post videos. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So today I decided I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, just talking a lot about calories, and I'm just seeing a lot of kind of not a good understanding, I guess, of what it looks like to eat in moderation and to, meet your goals. So, I decided, hey, why not just, record what I eat in a day? So it is going to be the famous what I eat in a day video that you guys love seeing on YouTube, especially if you're in the fitness industry. For those of you who don't know, I am currently in a bulking phase. I am taking in roughly around 3,500 calories a day in order to put on about a pound of weight a week. It's a little bit more than that, but it's kind of averaging out since like late October. I have put on about 4.2 pounds, 4.9 pounds, and this is my 5th week, so that's averaging about 1.2 pounds a week, which is great for me because originally my goal was about 0.75 of a pound, so it's whatever. I'm willing to cut off some of the extra fat, but it's easier for me to just kind of overshoot than to undershoot, especially since cutting for me is not that difficult. But yes, I will be showing you guys what I eat in a day. I eat 3 times a day, and I am not gonna bullshit you guys or anything. This is exactly what I eat. This is how I eat. This is again how I eat. This isn't necessarily how everybody else should eat. I do try to get in whatever whole foods that I can. However, again, different circumstances and what may have you. This is just what works for me. I do take into account the different things that like I go through, and when I give advice to my clients, I take into account their situations or their eating styles. So it's not one size fits all. Like, I try to recommend, don't always just ingest protein powder, obviously, but for whatever reason, if protein powder is what you have, like, who am I to tell you like you're shit? I mean, your diet is shit, but like, you gotta do what you gotta do if you want to meet your goals and all that. I always say work on consistency. You can go about perfecting things later on, and perfecting those things could be like, getting in the proper nutrients and stuff like that. But if you already suck at just, like eating in general, I say just eat what you can, because just getting you to eat is going to be more work than trying to focus on, oh, I got to eat this whole food and this whole food and this whole food. There's always time to, tweak those things in later on down the road once you're a little bit more comfortable with just eating in general. But yes, I always start my day off with multivitamins. I use Nature's Made multivitamins. There's no particular reason why exactly I picked this brand, but I did pick this one. It's the multi for him plus omega-3s, because I don't eat anything with omega-3s. I don't eat a lot of seafood. I hate fish. So I know for a fact I am, lacking in omega-3 somewhere. But also, just in case it's one of those days where I can't seem to get in a ton of whole food, just making sure that I'm taking, a multivitamin that has all of the necessary supplements that I would have gotten from my whole food is good, just to make sure, I'm still keeping healthy. So I take 2 of these because that's a serving size. And then I take 1 serving of biotin, 5,000 milligrams for my beard. Told you guys I do Monox. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into that, and then I will see you guys at the next meal. I don't have breakfast. What I do have is a protein shake with some type of carb. I just said, you guys, I like to start out with just a protein shake. I do 1 scoop of my mutant protein powder. They are a Canadian company, and as you guys can see, it doesn't take up a lot inside the bottle. It's pretty big. I think this is the 32 ounce. And the mutant protein specifically is the isolate whey. Comes with about 25 grams of protein in it, and I use Gatorade for carbs. You can find this specific Gatorade at your local Publix or, you know, Walmart. I haven't found it in Kroger's yet at all, but what I'll do is I'll just put my bottle on my weight, my scale, and I'll tear the bottle so I don't get any of those measurements, and I'll just pour in whatever I'm using and measure it out. Depending on the day, I will either have 40 grams to 45 grams, and I went a little bit over this time. After that, I like to go to the gym. Obviously, today is cardio day. Nothing too serious, just walking at an incline for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I will obviously do, you know, a little routine posing for you guys. Not too, you know, crazy. I am only about 5 weeks in, so I'm still early on in the bulking phase. Not much change has occurred just yet, but I have gained a lot of water weight. Still, physique is looking great though. I can still do all of my favorite poses. If you follow me on IG, you know exactly what I mean. This is my favorite pose. I love hitting this. So after I have gone to the gym, I'll come back and I will have my post-workout meal, which consists of just cereal and some whole fat milk and some protein powder. I did not have to have nuts this time around because, you know, after you work out, you should have a lower fat intake so that you can digest everything. So that's why I don't have to deal with any of the extra stuff. I can just have my cereal and my protein powder. All right. So I know some of you guys are probably sitting there thinking, Matt, what the crap? You just like had a boatload of sugar with this kid's cereal. But I do want to clarify, cereal is actually a very, very good source of carbs, especially if you're like me and you're taking in 3,500 calories a day. Carbs is really difficult to get in because it's just so filling. So getting something like kids cereal, whether it's sugary or not, and for those of you wondering, my blood pressure and my blood sugar is actually really, really good. So it's not like I'm just, you know, eating a boatload of sugar and, you know, not making up for it in some sense. Like I do work out, I do cardio, I do like a lot of stuff. I drink plenty of water. My blood pressure came back almost perfect recently in my last blood work. My blood sugar is still good. So it's not like I'm just, you know, just eating sugar. But it is a good source of carbs while having a low fat content. And normally after a post workout, if you have read any of my blogs, it is more ideal for you to have a lower fat intake after your workouts, because fat will actually cause the other macros to digest slower, so that carbohydrates won't be able to kick into your system as fast as you might desire it to, so that it doesn't start, you know, eating away at any muscle for energy. So that's why I choose kids cereal. Also, it's just easy. It's like palatable, so it like tastes good, so I can eat a lot of it really fast. Like I just finished that entire bowl within maybe like 5 minutes. And then also the protein shake just goes down easy. And then when I have to eat again in another 3 hours, I won't be so full that I don't want to eat. So that's why I choose kids cereal. You don't have to use kids cereal. You can use something else. Like honestly, you could do chicken, broccoli, and rice like normal, but I just personally prefer cereal because it's easier for me. second to last meal of the day, and just very quickly, I will put all of the macros in another segment, but this is my inspired chipotle bowl. I put everything inside the rice cooker and I cook it that way, or the rice at least, and then I just eat everything out of the actual pot that the rice cooks in. It's not too big of a deal. It didn't taste that great. And then lastly, for my last meal, I will have a chipotle burrito bowl. I don't normally go out to eat that often, but because I was going to my girl's place, I decided, we're just gonna get chipotle. It's no big deal. I've eaten there before on my bulk, so I know I can eat there and what exactly to get. And so I just got a burrito and I just had that for dinner. And yeah, I'll tell you guys all the macros in just a second. All right, everybody. So as promised, here are all of the macros for each of my meals. As you can see, starting out at 10 a.m. These times are off because you can tell by the times up top. But this is generally how I would, go about eating. I'll have my morning shake, which consists of 35 grams or 1 scoop of my mutant isolate surge. And then I will also have Gatorade powder, specifically for the dextrose. I think that's how you say it, which is, it's just a type of carb that gets quickly ingested into the system. So I have some carbs in my system for when I go to the gym. And then afterwards, I will have my post-workout meal, which will consist of another scoop of shake, of my protein shake, and some cereal. Funny enough, this is one of the few times where I didn't have to actually eat some kind of nut. Usually I would have had something like almonds, so that was really cool. I really did enjoy that for that day because I hate having to eat an entire another thing of almonds just to meet my fat goals. But 310 milliliters of whole milk, and 155 grams of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That is a lot. That's actually way more than I normally have. Usually I will take in about 125, 115 grams of cereal. So 155 was especially high for today. And then later I will have basically what you would consider lunch, but is really more like dinner for me, which was that weird bowl concoction that you guys saw. 165 grams of chicken breast. I did a little bit more because I knew that I was going to have chipotle later on, and I was more than likely not going to get the amount of chicken that I actually needed in, so protein was more important to me, which is why you see that fat content is a little bit lower, because I wanted to add in my protein more with my dinner meal. And then 20 grams of Lipton tea that goes towards my carbs. Walmart sour cream, nothing special about that, just your ordinary sour cream. 80 grams of that. 25 grams of olive oil, which I did use in the cooking of my chicken. I didn't drizzle it on there. That tastes absolutely bad. And then I had 155 grams of rice raw. So for those of you who may not know, usually rice and chicken and some other ingredients will need to be specified whether it's raw or cooked, because the water absorption or the water evaporation will shrink it in size. So I always weigh all of my stuff raw. So this is raw rice, 155 grams of raw rice, which after you add in the water usually ends up being around like 200 and something grams. And then about 105 grams of salsa, specifically pico de gallo. So that is my kind of weird DIY chipotle bowl. It did not taste that great. Normally I would have had actually something that was a little bit more poke influence, which would have just been broccoli slaw, some avocado, some Thai sweet chili sauce, the chicken, and like that's literally it. I would have cooked the oil inside the chicken again. And then finally, the last meal of the day, depending on whether I have it or not. Today it was chipotle. Sometimes I will have something like Greek yogurt, like I'm going to have tonight when I'm recording this. And so that day, chipotle, I try and estimate how much is going to be possible.
inside each. I know for a fact they don't give you a ton of chicken, they don't give you a ton of vegetables. I kind of go for the things that I know I can more control, and I have a better understanding of portion size. So that's the white rice for me. Obviously the burrito, one burrito. And I know sour cream a little bit better just because I used to eat a lot of tacos back in the day when I didn't have my macros quite down, but I thought I did. So sour cream I know very, very well. And then the corn salsa and all that, I kind of have a rough estimation of what vegetables look like per gram in terms of, you know, like 50, 70, like half a bell pepper is only like 50 grams. So that is all of my macros. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Another thing that you guys might have noticed when I told you guys the calorie intake that I have, 3,500 calories a day, and how many meals I eat, that yes, I am basically eating 1,000 calories per meal, maybe a little bit more. So don't necessarily do exactly what I am doing. This is specifically to meet my goals, and it is very difficult to eat 1,000 calories in one meal depending on what you're eating and how you're eating, but my body has had several weeks to adjust to this now, so I wouldn't start out just eating 3,500 calories. Definitely find out what works for you. I'm not a big eater, but I don't want to eat 2 meals in a day because that's a shit ton of protein to take in at one time. Like my Saturdays, I only eat 2 meals a day, and so I'm taking in about 75 grams of protein in one serving, and like 200 grams of like carbs, and like 50 grams. It's like not good, but since I don't eat on Saturday, and it's like my rest day, I don't really want to cook. I just want to do, you know, boom, boom, done. That's it. I can do it. But that isn't to say that you need to have multiple meals. You can, in fact, bulk and gain weight or lose weight just eating 1 meal a day, assuming, and this is the key part, assuming that that 1 meal has all of the necessary macros you need in it. Now, that wouldn't be very comfortable eating 3,500 calories in one sitting, and I'd probably have to eat a ton of fast food, which is why I have it spread out over the 3 meals a day. Going up to 4 is more ideal. You want 4 to 5 meals a day, but I'm not a big eater, so trying to get in 4 to 5 meals a day, especially since I normally cook all my meals, it's just not gonna be it for me. So that is it, everybody. I hope you guys did enjoy seeing what I eat in a day. Do remember that this is kind of like a fluctuation of how I eat. Sometimes I eat more whole foods, sometimes I might eat less whole foods. It's really just kind of like how I feel on my day-to-day, especially considering that this is my first real serious bulk. Right now, my main focus isn't necessarily on being perfect in everything that I'm doing, but just getting in the calories and trying to get in as much quality food and nutrients as possible, because there's always time in the future to, you know, tweak things and make them perfect, like I have previously stated. But yes, that is how I eat 3,500 calories in a day for my current bulk. Remember, that is putting on roughly, now going almost 5 weeks into this, that is putting on like a pound and 1.2 pounds in like a week. So a little bit more than I necessarily need, but it is working for me. I enjoy it. I'm not, you know, feeling crazy about like the extra weight or anything like that. And for the most part, I do relatively look the same, while my weight is increasing. So we'll see how I look at the end of it. Again, you just kind of trust the process and move on. But anyways, it is Thanksgiving, so if you did get to see this, probably not during Thanksgiving because it's today, but anyways, I do want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving, all that fun jazz, thankful for, and all of the fun goodness. I hope you guys had a great day, and it's your boy Matt Turner. I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a great morning, evening, day, or night, and as always, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification button. I'm out.